Krishna Padaya Krishna Prasad to the Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swamiji Namo. I wanted to just quote a couple of little pastimes from a book by one of Prabhupada's early book distributor devotee, a Mataji called Mula Prakriti, who was in Los Angeles. When Srila Prabhupada left, she'd spent time in India, and she realised that so many people had come in contact with Prabhupada and had recollections of him, but that as eternal time moves on, they weren't going to be here for much longer. So she started interviewing a lot of these people. So one of these, this memory is from Sripad Nayananda Das Babaji Maharaj. He's a disciple of Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj, who was Prabhupada's spiritual master. He remembers just before Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj would have left, that one of their last parikramas that Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj used to organise each year. So he remembers the last year that our Gurudev organised and performed Gaudamandala Parikram, thousands and thousands of pilgrims assembled at our Champahati Mandir. There was a whole village of tents in all directions. On the afternoon of the last day, one of our godbrothers had just arrived in Navadvip, having returned from London by boat. He'd gone out to preach, but had returned without meeting with full success. In the evening, while Guru Maharaj was giving pravachana, he explained that it was his earnest desire, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj did, that the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should be spread in the Western countries. This was a really radical idea in conservative India. If, despite Lord Chaitanya had predicted that his holy name would be chanted in every town and village, a lot of Indians weren't convinced that Westerners could take this culture at all. So he told how the vision of Bhakti Vinod Thakur, he told how it was the vision of his father, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, that this would happen. It was also the request of his mother, Srimati Bhagavati Devi, to him before she left the world, to her son Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj. Consequently, he had been willing to take the lifeblood of the Gaudiya Math in funds to send devotees there to preach. But so far these attempts have been largely unsuccessful. At this moment in his talk, I noticed that something very mysterious was happening. Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj is talking. Guru Maharaj was looking out at the large crowd of devotees, especially in the front, where all the sannyasis and brahmacharis in red cloth were. Then he turned his head and looked over to his left side where I was standing. That is this Nayananda Maharaj. He was looking intently at someone and became silent for a long moment. I happened to look behind me, and I clearly saw that the person with whom he was making eye contact was Abhay Charanaravinda Prabhu, that is Srila Prabhupada. I thought they were looking at each other in a special way. Then Guru Maharaj again addressed the audience in front of him and said, "But I have a prediction. However long in the future it may be," because this is back, it was 1936, I think, Bhakti Siddhanta Maharaj left. "However long in the future it may be, I predict that one of my disciples will cross the ocean, and that devotee will bring back the whole world." I remembered this incident, and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj truly made it come to pass, exactly in this way. There's one other pastime I wanted to mention. When I first came across this book, I was sort of shocked at, I sort of thought Prabhupada just appeared on the scene in the West. But actually, we know there was Prabhupada's entire life was spent getting ready for this preaching mission. So here's another pastime. Prabhupada meets Dr. Radhakrishnan, who was the president of the Republic of India at the time. So Prabhupada was meeting pretty important people. Swami Maharaj met with Dr. Radhakrishnan in Rashtraprati Bhavan, and requested him to give a letter of recommendation to enable him to get a visa. Prabhupada needed this visa to go to the West. Dr. Radhakrishnan skeptically questioned Swami Maharaj. What will be the result of preaching in the foreign country? And he did not give the letter to Srila Prabhupada that Swami Maharaj needed. At that time, Dr. Radhakrishnan discussed Vaishnava religion with Swami Maharaj. This gives an example of how Prabhupada preached to even very important people. "You are president of this India," Swami Maharaj said to him, "but what are you doing for its benefit? There are so many dacoits and others here, but you are not punishing them. What is the essence of your mood? You should be like Narad Rishi with Valmiki. Valmiki was a hunter, but took the Ram Nam. Mahaprabhu even saved Jagai and Madai. What are you doing about this? My advice is that you should hear Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, and then tell Hari Katha to the public as a medicine to cure their disease." After that, they made an experiment. This is between Srila Prabhupada and Dr. Radhakrishnan. Dr. Radhakrishnan arranged for Swami Maharaj to give Bhagavatam classes in the local jail for a week or perhaps a month. And the result was, afterwards, Dr. Radhakrishnan was really pleased. He was so pleased at the results of Prabhupada's preaching. He arranged for him to get the visa for going abroad. Swami Maharaj did all this alone. I heard him tell this story to Srila Keshav Maharaj. It gives an example. Jai. Thank you, Prabhu.